Good evening, everyone. Happy Sunday. This is a special sports report. It's your boy, Matty T, a.k.a. Sir Pancakes here, checking in with you. Wanted to give a recap of a unforgettable, crazy comeback win by the Chicago Bears. So they keep on playing. But before I do that, let's shoot through the wildcard games that have gone final so far. So far this weekend, all these games have been super competitive, very close, and it has come down to the team who has the ball last, has an opportunity to win and move on. So Saturday to start the action, the Los Angeles Rams visiting the Carolina Panthers. They were involved in a great regular season game that was won by Carolina. Saturday afternoon had a lot of the same characteristics. It was going back and forth, especially in the second half. But Matthew Stafford, he's playing at a level that maybe even better than he was in 2021 when the Rams went to the Super Bowl and won it all. Found Kobe Parkinson for the go-ahead touchdown. That was the game winner, and the Rams went to advance. We'll talk about the Rams in a little bit. And so the AFC game that happened this afternoon, the Buffalo Bills able to hold off the Jacksonville Jaguars. Actually, that turned into a shootout too. It was pretty low scoring until the fourth quarter. Both teams put up 2 touchdowns apiece, but the Bills were able to get a late interception off Trevor Lawrence to hold on and beat Jacksonville. Very good game. That was the first road win of Josh Allen's playoff career. A lot of people feel like no Patrick Mahomes, no Lamar Jackson, no Joe Burrow. They feel like it's now or never for Josh Allen to finally make a Super Bowl run. So we'll see if the Bills can do that. And we had the game that just ended. So there will be a new Super Bowl champion this year because the San Francisco 49ers have just stunned the defending champs, the Philadelphia Eagles, 23-19. They were able to get a late stop defensively to win that game. Back and forth, although the 49ers, it may have been a costly win because George Kittle, their star all-pro tight end, carted off with an Achilles injury. So obviously his status for the rest of the postseason is up in the air. Now, for the 49ers, if they win next week at Seattle, they will get their all-pro linebacker Fred Warner back for the NFC Championship game. And Seattle's beaten them twice already this season, so they're going to have a chip on their shoulder to not get swept by the 1-seed Seahawks. Seattle has that fantastic defense who they just held San Francisco to 3 points when they met last week in Santa Clara, home of the Super Bowl. So we will see what happens there. Those are two teams that know each other very well. But, we got to get to this Bears game that happened last night. Very highly anticipated matchup against our division rival, Green Bay Packers. Of course, round 3 this season. Both games just coming down to either the final possession of regulation or possession in overtime to win. So that this one was going to be high drama. Well, early, it didn't look like it was going to play out that way. The Bears got out to a 3-0 lead. They held the ball for almost the entire the first quarter, but drive stalled in the red zone. Carlos Santos able to hit a 27-yard field goal. And then that's when Green Bay came out firing. Jordan Love was almost untouchable in the first half. He had 3 touchdown passes. He was able to hit Christian Watson. Watson's had some big performances against us this year. And then they added a Jayden Reed touchdown from 18 yards to make it 14-3 midway second quarter. And then right after the 2-minute warning, right before halftime, Romeo Doubs with a 1-yard touchdown pass, 21-3. And the fans in the stadium were feeling pretty ejected. It felt like they were going to run away with this game. But I'll tell you, there was a moment right before halftime where I felt that it was a little bit of momentum shift. So the Packers were lining up for a field goal right before halftime. Ben Johnson, of course, using the icing the kicker method. He was able to call a timeout, and the Packers had already made their snap, and McManus actually hit the field goal that did not count. So they had to do it over, and McManus missed the second one. So, okay, 21-3, going into half. We have a hill to climb, but they say the game is never won at halftime. You have to come out and make your adjustments for the second half. And the third quarter got a little rocky too. There were a lot of fourth down conversions that we missed on. I think there were 5 total, I want to say, fourth down conversions that we just could not connect on tonight, which I know frustrated a lot of people. But just hold on a second. There's more. So we got a 34-yard field goal from Carlos Santos, 10:07 to go third quarter to cut the deficit to 21-6. Santos again, this time from 51 yards, 12:39 to go in regulation, and we're trailing 21-9. We finally get in the end zone, first time today. DeAndre Swift on a 6-yard rushing touchdown, extra point good by Santos to make it 21-16. Well, now Green Bay's saying this, okay, the Bears have gotten close. We have to respond. They do. First touchdown of Matthew Golden's career, the rookie wide receiver. He did not have a receiving touchdown in the regular season, so that was big for him. However, Brandon McManus missed the extra point. It remains an 11-point game. Again, Bears get the ball, go downfield. 10-play, 76-yard drive, 2:18. Caleb Williams hitting Olamide Zaccheaus for an 8-yard touchdown. And then he gets the 2-point conversion to Colston Loveland, who had himself a monster game. How about 8 catches for 136 yards? I believe he is the first Bears rookie tight end to ever have 100 yards receiving in his postseason debut. That is impressive stuff, and he is going to be a beast. I've already seen there's been some comparisons to, people are calling him like a baby Gronk, and you know how terrorizing Rob Gronkowski was for the New England Patriots, and then again, he went down to Tampa with Tom Brady and got him a ring there. So he's definitely, he's got to be like the best tight end in NFL history, if not one of the best tight ends ever to play the game of football. So that's very high praise. But anyhow, so we're still trailing 27-24. So the Packers miss a field goal, which would have put them up 6. McManus cannot come through, giving the Bears more hope. So Caleb comes down. Who does he hit for the go-ahead touchdown? Who had the walk-off in overtime just 2 weeks ago? Yes, Mr. DJ Moore. This one, 25-yarder from Caleb Williams. 6 plays, 66 yards, and 108 to give the Bears a 31-27 lead. And they had to make a last-second stop on defense. Jordan Love on the final play trying to make a Hail Mary. He was trying to get his Jayden Daniels moment. We lost that crazy game last season in Washington. Jayden Daniels had the Hail Mary on us, but this time it would not go through. We were able to swat it down. No flags. There you have it, folks. The biggest postseason comeback in Chicago Bears franchise history. 31-27 over the Green Bay Packers. And we will move on to play the Los Angeles Rams next weekend. They have not announced yet. We're not sure if it's going to be Saturday or Sunday yet. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I think the schedule might be out during halftime of the Chargers Patriots are going to play. That game's going to be that's starting in about 12 minutes. So I'm going to try and wrap this up so I can watch that. And then tomorrow night, Texans Steelers. And I've seen some kind of Steelers stuff online saying, okay, they want to Steelers Bears Super Bowl so that Aaron Rodgers can own us one more time. But you know what? I think Mr. Rodgers is going to have a really difficult time dealing with that ferocious Houston pass rush. Houston has two edge guys with over 10 sacks. So, yeah, good luck with that, Mr. Rodgers. So, you're going to be running all game for your life. So, good luck. Good luck tomorrow night. But anyways, so this will be the first postseason meeting against the Rams since, you guessed it, 1985, long time ago. We're talking, 41 years. Bears with the shutout, 24-0. A lot of people think that this could be like a 1985 type of somewhat of a redemption tour, because the New England Patriots, well, they have to take care of business tonight against the Los Angeles Chargers. If they win that game and if they're able to win the divisional round and the AFC Championship, they're going to end up in Santa Clara, and that would be a really compelling matchup if it happens. Just first things first, you got to deal with one opponent at a time. You take it 1 week at a time, and now that we know our opponent, we have to focus on the Los Angeles Rams. Now, let me tell you, Matthew Stafford this season has he's been an absolute monster. He's definitely one of the MVP favorites. I think it's going to be really close between him and New England Patriots quarterback Drake May, who is also a heavy favorite to win. And now I will say, at the beginning of the season, it looked like he had he had a really strong connection with Davante Adams. I mean, inside the goal line to go, I mean, those guys were just automatic, electric. But then Davante Adams got hurt. He had a hamstring injury, missed a couple weeks. This last month or so, Puka Nacua has just blown up. And this guy, I've always thought of Puka as wide receiver 1 of status for you guys that play fantasy. I really think he's going to be the top overall pick next season. A lot of people can debate between him and JSN from Seattle, but I think Puka has got to be the top dog for all of that he does in that Rams offense. So that'll be a handful trying to contain Puka. You can't really stop him because he's just too good. But if you can contain him, get physical with him, that's going to be key. The Rams also have a good running game. They have a good 1-2 balanced punch, Kyron Williams, and they got the young back Blake Corum, out of Michigan. So, and then the Rams like to use their tight ends. Sometimes they'll go up to three tight end sets. So Sean McVay, he's a mastermind play caller, but so is our guy Ben Johnson. So it's going to be it's going to be a chess match between two great offensive minds, and that game might be a crazy shootout. I just wanted to shout out some key facts here from yesterday's crazy wild card win over the Green Bay Packers. So, first of all, that was the 7th win for the Bears this season when trailing with 2 minutes left in regulation. That's unbelievable. Some teams don't even get that many wins in that situation in a decade. The Bears have done it in a single season. It's just showing you just how composed our offense is, and Caleb. And I know that, he can, improve on the completion percentage. It seems to be his only his flaw. But hey, when the game's on the line, this man knows he knows how to come through, and he'll get us in position to win the game in the end, when it matters. So let's just put some numbers out there from some Great stats I saw all day on social media. So this first one, this is really eye-popping. So the Chicago Bears this season are 3-3 when down 10 or more points in the final 5 minutes of the fourth quarter of the season. The rest of the NFL, 3-158. So that should tell you right now that if this team is in it late, you better not turn off your TV set. If you're at the game, you better damn sure not leave, because they are going to they're going to be in it at the end, you know. And there was a quote from Cole Kmet, because a lot of people wanted to know what went on in that locker room at halftime when we were down 21-3. And according to Cole Kmet, Caleb Williams said, in quote, "We are going to have the greatest comeback in Bears history." That is what he told his team at halftime, and you can see everything that inspired in the second half, and they were able to pull off one of the greatest wins in franchise history. This really was such a fantastic win. As for the Packers and their rivalry against the Bears, a tale of two halves with their defense. Even without Micah Parsons, they've shown flashes of greatness. So here's the story on that. In 3 games against the Bears, Green Bay allowed 6 points in the first half. 6, that's it. But second half, 68. That's 68 points allowed in the second half and overtime. So I think a lot of heat has to go on their defensive coordinator for not making the proper adjustments. And I believe he had a comment saying that he told the Green Bay media, "We'll see you next week." Well, you can schedule that press conference if you want, my guy, but I don't feel nobody's going to show up, because, no meaningful game for you until, next fall. So, all right. So, going through, trying to wrap this up here before kickoff of Chargers and the Patriots here. And, I have to shout out the fan who had the cheese grater. That was hilarious when we almost took the lead. They had this fan. He was grating cheese. Hilarious stuff, man. Well, here's the eye-popping stat to share with you guys. So Caleb Williams in his young career, so far, he has a winning record against Green Bay, 3-2. Last night was his 3rd win. This is eye-popping because when you take Jay Cutler, Mitchell Trubisky, and Justin Fields combined against Green Bay, 3-23. So I think this is a turning of a new day. We finally got a franchise guy. When Caleb steals us up, we are going to lock him down and keep him in Chicago for the rest of his career. And I hope that Ben Johnson is right alongside with him. I know it's going to take some more time to develop this, and but it might even be Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes version 2.0. Now I know that they've got to get to some some conference championship games, and they got to get to some Super Bowls to achieve the type of success that Reid and Mahomes have done so far together with Kansas City. But the sky is young. We got a young quarterback. We got a young first-time rookie head coach who is just he just really impressed me. Really, even with I know there was a lot of gadget play calls. There was even he tried to do like a tight end pass. Cole Kmet looked like he was going to throw a pass downfield and then decided to keep it at the last second. You just don't know what Ben Johnson has in his bag. And going against Sean McVay, he's definitely going to have some more gadgets, because Sean McVay, to me, he's one of the best play callers, I think, out of the teams that are still alive. Kyle Shanahan's pretty up there too. But now that we've got our guy, I know that he's going to get very creative and elusive. with our schemes, and there's going to be some great stuff next weekend. So, I want to shout out to Ben Johnson, man, winning his postseason debut as head coach. And I heard in the trade phase, they were talking during the first half, but during the second half, crickets, man. Crickets, they just missed out on the playoffs this year. It sounds like they may lose David Montgomery from, comments that have been made through the media. So we'll see if they can find that, punch to go with Jahmyr Gibbs. And Jahmyr is a very electric running back, but he's going to need some help out there. And most NFL teams have a dual back system now. It's very rare to depend on one guy, unless that one guy is Christian McCaffrey, who is going to be playing next week. So for sure. And I think that is going to do it. I want to shout out my Cubs for signing Alex Bregman, 5 years, $175 million. And that deal was broke during the game last night, during that second half when they were coming back. I'm like, hey, Cubs get Bregman. So that offense will be even more dangerous next year. I also want to add a Matt LaFleur nugget. So he has been either a head coach or an assistant coach in 2 of the biggest playoff blown leads in NFL history. He was on that Atlanta Falcons staff when they blew the 28-3 lead to the New England Patriots. Everybody will never, ever forget that game. And then, of course, last night, 21-3. And it looks like he's going to be meeting with the Packers top brass to see if he will return next season. So will that be his last game in Green Bay? I guess time will tell. Time will tell. So I think we will I think we're going to wrap this up. So thank you all for tuning in, and I promise I am going to have another recap no matter what happens next weekend in the divisional round against the Los Angeles Rams. But I think if you want to be a champion, you have to beat the champs, and the Rams just won 4 years ago, and they're very capable of doing the same thing. If they get to Santa Clara, that's a stadium that they're very familiar with, and our job is going to try and stop them from getting to that point. So we got a lot of prep to do, but I know Ben will have our guys ready. And again, if it's close, fourth quarter, seven wins when trailing under 2 minutes. That's really all I need to say if anyone wants to count us out. So with that being said, I'm going to sign off. It's your boy, Matty T, a.k.a. Sir Pancake.
Audio Jungle.